God, that song is disturbing. 5 o'clock hour. Nice to have you. So let's kind of reset things. We've got a lot going on. The overriding topic, and it's fine. It's Friday. We're having a good time. But David Price of the Red Sox, scratched from his start this week. Carpal tunnel has developed. Fortnite, the video game, being one of the suspected culprits. He has now promised to stop playing it at the stadium. But no game has ever done what this thing has done. I mean, it's taken over athletes, musicians, celebrities, whatever you want to call it. And it's just, I'll tell you one thing. If you're a teacher, it's the students in the classroom. It's nuts. So, yes, we've been talking to people about it and going, dude, what is it with this game that is just so addicting for people? But also, like, when I saw it on the scroll that David Price was hurt and then it started to come out the reasons why, boy, did it harken back to Joel Zamaya and that whole Guitar Hero conversation we had. But that's one. That's in the mix. The Patricia stuff, you got the update from Ryan. And here's why we're not focusing on it today. A, I did 4 hours yesterday. B, I don't want to play pretend court. I'm not going to litigate this thing and do a hypothetical court case. Yes, they contacted the DA, and the DA said, oh, yeah, I thought we had a real case. Well, what's DA going to do 22 years later? No, we didn't have a good case. Oh, you had some evidence. Well, I would hope so. You indicted 2 men. The problem is we don't get Patricia's side of it, and we won't because this isn't going to be relitigated. I mean, legal experts have said it. There is just no chance that this gets litigated in a court of law. So I'm not going to spend more time allowing people to play hypothetical court. Oh, but what if Patricia looks bad or the optics of it? You're right, but that's part of being a public figure. I mean, hell, take it from us. People can say terrible things. It doesn't mean it's illegal. And Debt News is doing a pretty good job on them right now. But it's not illegal, and they have a right to do it. So that's what it is. I'm not going to blame the paper. I don't have to like it, but I understand it. But I don't see the benefit in taking another, 4 hours of phone calls and people making assumptions, and it's not worth it. So it's a Friday, and we've been having a good time. So certainly the David Price thing is in the mix. Conference finals we'll get to momentarily. I think the interesting thing is Dwayne Casey getting let go by the Raptors, Coach of the Year, and fired. Now, that's happened before. But this is the thing. There's 2 things I want to say about the Casey thing. A, I have zero issue that the Raptors did it because this was at the end of its run. It's not like all of a sudden they were going to be able to progress with Casey and this roster because I do believe they're going to blow this thing up. Casey's a good coach and by all accounts a better guy. But it was done. That's it. Why wait around? Why do what we do in this city where you keep coaches 2, 3, 4 years too long? So I have no issue with it. Now, some people have said it's unfair. It's not classy. We can have that discussion. But for me, this is a business, and business isn't pretty. The Raptors had to make a change, and certainly in leadership, but they have to make a change on that roster. Now, part 2 of it is this, and this is where I don't know if people agree or disagree, but the Raptors should be a warning to Piston fan, and here's why. Now, understand the Raptors are very similar to the Pistons in that you're located in a city that no free agent of sound mind and who's desirable in nature is ever going to go to. No free agent ever willfully goes to Toronto or Detroit. 2, no draft pick is ever hyped up about going to Toronto or Detroit. You're very similar in this regard, is that in order to win, you've got to do most things right. Here's the other thing, and the other reason they're similar. The failings of the Raptors are that they had kind of stars, Lowry and DeRozan. They weren't superstars, but they're not just average players. Sound like you a little bit? The Raptors never had a top 3 pick. Ever. And it just goes to my point. There's one way to do this in the NBA if you are a have-not. Okay? Detroit and Toronto are the same, even though Toronto's an infinitely better city. Players do not want to move to Canada. Players do not want to move to Detroit. You're never going to get enough star power to do this right. And the Raptors did everything right. They pulled Valanciunas off the scrap heap. They go out and get OG Anunoby. They go out and they find guys like Freddie Van Vliet. DeRozan goes out and improves, and Lowry from a kind of a weird, oversized, he was like a linebacker at point guard, but he got good, and it still wasn't enough. So there's lessons to be learned there. Unfortunately, your owner and franchise don't get it. But I like the move they made. They did it swiftly, and now they move forward. They got to blow the roster up, though. DeRozan, Lowry, and they've got to tool this thing. They've got to fix it. And they'll probably fail. But they are you and you are them. It is very, very similar. And I gave you a number of parallels. You want to comment on that? You're welcome to. Look, the conference final stuff, it's very, very brief. God, I wish the Celtics were healthy, and then you would have a real fun series against Cleveland. But the Celtics are not, and let's face it, Cleveland's got LeBron and the Celtics don't. I don't know how the Celtics extend this series. Now, you could make a case the Celtics are a better version of the Indiana Pacers. They don't have the guy, but they got a collection of guys. Late game situation, you can have Scary Terry. You can have Tatum. You can have Horford. You can have Marcus Smart as the guy who will take the shot. Indiana had Victor Oladipo and, Lance Stevenson? The problem is, how about this stat, Mikey? You want a stat that's crazy? Al Horford lifetime against LeBron in the playoffs. You know what his record is?
Not good.
1-15. How is that possible?
Because LeBron's the best player ever, that's why.
Oh, my God. You just say that with such bonerific pride. It's disgusting.
Oh, I knew I'd get you going with that comment.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, Al Horford's an all-star. He's played on some good Atlanta teams, good Boston teams. 1-15. That is unbelievable. But no, I would be thrilled if the Celtics could take this to 6 games. It looks like Cavs in 5. But you know what? Brad Stevens is a wizard. And maybe, just maybe, they'll find a way here. But I have a hard time. The playoffs are matchups. Celtics still do not have someone to guard LeBron James. Kevin Love spacing the floor only highlights the Celtics' lack of size, lack of rim protection. It's just a brutal matchup. So I think in the East, it's a foregone conclusion. Now, the West, we thought all year, hey, Houston and Golden State, that's what we need. That's what we want. Houston might be able to take them down. And then the problem is, now that it's here, I have major doubts about Houston. In watching them play and kind of just looking at the Warriors and the way they've paced themselves, they kind of rounded into form against New Orleans. And they took a good New Orleans team who was playing great basketball, and they humiliated them. They really did. Now, you wonder if Golden State is going to prove a point. Everyone talking about Houston, everyone saying, hey, they might be able to get Golden State. Championship caliber teams, legacy teams, they kind of regain the chip on their shoulder. Like a lot of those teams, when they win a title, you hear them go, nobody believed in us and we did it. And you're like, who the hell are you talking about, bro? You were the favorite. But in this case, a lot of people do believe Houston's going to take them out. I kind of wonder if Golden State's going to prove a point here. I know Chris Paul played the game of his life, of his playoff life, closing out the Jazz with 39. I still don't trust Chris Paul in a big spot. I still don't trust James Harden in a big spot. I got to see it to believe it. But I could absolutely see a 5-game series in the West, too. I don't want to say that. I don't want to be right. What I need from Houston is to make Golden State sweat. Make Golden State play in a game they never play in, which is a must-win game. Be up 2-1 in the series and show me a must-win game 4. You know, be down 3-2. Oh, my God, it'd be amazing. Have the Warriors have to win a 6-7. I need to see Houston put Golden State in a tough spot. I can't pick them to win it. If they can put them in a tough spot, I think their season is still a success. But I just wonder if we're about to see the best of Golden State here. And they just go into, like, demon mode.
Well, I also think we need to take a road trip as a show. Go to the Eastern Conference Finals in Cleveland. Let's go see a game. Celtics, Cavs, it'd be fun.
Why? So I can lose by 20 and have to listen to you in the car?
Or maybe we could do a live remote. Let's do a live broadcast there outside of the queue.
Wait. You think this place would do something fun like that.
They let us go to Vegas. Maybe they'll let us go. I'll take the equipment.
Fine,
I'll set it up.
Fine. Here, how about we all broadcast from Saratoga for 2 weeks in August? How's that sound?
I'd love to do that as well.
I mean, while we're offering ideas, if I may.
Why don't we do a remote from LeBron's shorts?
Jeez.
You have to go there.
My God.
But no, I was looking at the schedule, Mike, and
What is the schedule?
Game 3 would be Saturday, the 19th, at 8:30 p.m. in Cleveland. We wouldn't have to take a day off work. We can go down there Saturday morning, have some lunch, go to the game.
Hold on. Let me get this straight, just so I understand. You want me to take my weekend. I already spend how much time with you guys during the week? Second of all, David will never get a hall pass. He has 2 young children at home.
Saturday. Let's go.
Oh, he could do it.
You may want to talk to your wife. She's on line 7.
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, here's what we have to do. David, hold on. Let me do some investigation regarding tickets. Now,
Cleveland! This is for you!
Now, I will say this. Now, I will make a few phone calls, but Mike, this is my rule. And I know people are going to go, oh, my God, what a snob.
I know what you're going to say.
I am not sitting in the rafters. I'm not going to drive to Cleveland and be 400 feet away from a basketball court watching ants.
Oh, I agree.
We've got to find some decent seats.
I thought you'd say no social media.
I don't, Mike, honestly, your social media addiction, it makes me feel sad for you.
Oh, no, I'd post a photo, at the game or something.
Oh, everybody, look at me. I'm at the queue. Oh, it's Mike. No one cares.
I've already been to the queue.
No pictures of me in the concourse.
Yeah, Roberto in
They
the
have
concourse, yeah.
They have a beautiful concourse at Quicken Loans.
Have Roberto go live from the Winking Lizard. He'll be at Panini eating a sandwich in the third quarter. All right.
Maybe we can see if Dan Gilbert will let us use his private jet and give us his courtside seats. We can fly there and go to the game.
I'll pass on that. I'll meet you there. Let me, Mike, if we could cultivate some tickets appropriately, I will consider it.
That'd be fun.
But you got to make sure David and Roberto get a hall pass. Because I need a butt be around you in this setting.
I've never been a jerk about that stuff.
With LeBron playing my Celtics. No. No. That's adding kerosene to a fire. If you're on a mission to create a beautiful backyard,